कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। Seetā did keep a blade of grass between her and Ravana. Trinam antaratah kritva. Why did she keep the blade of grass? Over 20 such reasons that are in accordance with the Dharma Shastras were cited by the commentators. I, in a very minimalistic fashion, tried presenting those facts as given by the commentators. That said, Seetā also asked a very pertinent question. She asked, Ravana, is there not one person, one good soul in Lanka who has the ability to advise you? Yadi santona vasanti satova nanuvartase. Is there not one person in your vicinity? She asked. As she concluded, Ravana paid deaf ears to all her advice, suggestion and warning. Rather, he warned Seetā in return. He said, I give you 2 months. If you do not become my consort, you do not become my Ardhangini, I shall ensure that you are being cooked for my next day's breakfast. As he warned, he also informed the demonesses in the vicinity, told them, O Rakshasis in Ashokavatika, it is your duty to threaten her. Now as he left the place, the Rakshasis were now talking to themselves, and they were talking amongst themselves as to what are the ways to coax Seetā, threaten Seetā to agree to Ravana's decision. Meanwhile, Seetā was very disturbed with these words of Ravana. She thought, let me now look up to those pativrata naris, those ideal wives to ideal husbands, to those wives to those husbands who position themselves as good couples, whom we can look up to, whom we can get inspiration from. So she lists down a list of women with their consorts. Dinova Rajyahinova Yo me bharta same guruhu tam nityam anuraktasmi yatha suryam suvarchala yatha Suryam Suvarchala Yatha Shachi Mahi Bhaga Yatha Shachi Mahabhaga Shakram Samupatishtati Arundhati Vasishtham Cha Rohini Shashinam Yatha Lopa Mudra Yatha Gastyam Sukanya Chavanam Yatha Savitri Satyavantam Cha Kapilam Srimati Yatha Saudasam Madayantiva Keshini Sagaram Yatha Naishadham Damayantiva Bhaini Patimanuvrata Tataham Ikshvakuvaram Ramam Patimanuvrata. She lists down Yatha Suryam Suvarchala. Like how Suvarchala Devi follows the rays of Surya, her husband, so am I. Yatha Shachi Mahabhaga Shakram Samupatishtati. Like Shachi Devi, who is referred to as Indrani, Like Indrani, who's Shachi Devi, who is devoted to Indra, even I am devoted to Rama. Arundhati Vasishtham cha. Like how Arundhati and Vasishtha, Arundhati Devi, Guru Mata, follows Vasishtha. Like how Vasishtha seeks suggestions and clearances from Arundhati. So am I. Rohini Shashinam Yatha. We have now seen a lot of monogamous people who had one wives. Let's take Soma, who's Chandradeva. All the stars, asterisms, all the constellations are believed to be married to him. But he is extremely attached to Rohini, like how Rohini is attached to Soma. So here Seetā says, Rohini Shashinam Yatha, like how Rohini is to Shashi. Lopamudra Yathagastyam, like how Lopamudra, the Rishi Patni, was to Agastya. Sukanya Chyavanam Yatha, like how Sukanya Devi, Rishi Patni, was devoted to Chyavana Maharishi. So Chyavana Sukanya Charitram, Lopamudra Agastya Charitram, all these features in Mahabharatam. You may wonder, so Mahabharatam was written later. Remember, Mahabharatam was written later. But the incidents narrated in the Mahabharatam happened earlier, even earlier to the Ramayanam. For example, let's take Samudra Manthanam, Chyavana Sukanya Charitram, Lopamudra Agastya Charitram, then Vatadala Shainam, Vatapatra Shayi Charitram. All this happened much before the Ramayana times, but they were compiled together in the Mahabharata times. That's all. Next, Savitri Satyavantam Cha. So Savitri Satyavanta, this holds special significance because Savitri was born as a result to Ashwapati Maharaja because of his devotion to Surya Deva, Shaura, and by reciting the Gayatri or the Savitri mantram. Surya Gayatri is Savitri. So he was reciting Savitri, that is why he was born a girl and he called her Savitri. So Savitri knew very well that the person whom she wanted to marry, Satyavan, had an ordained premature death. Yet she chose to live a simple life. She abandoned her riches, her aristocratic comforts, and she married Satyavan. But at one point in time, when Satyavan's Jivatma was to depart from his material body, she intelligently had a conversation, struck a conversation with Yamadeva, Yamadharmaraja, and sought the last boon where she said, I should have many, many children with Satyavan. So for that boon, which was granted by Yamadharmaraja to fructify, Satyavan had to be saved. He had to live. So this was the way that Savitri saved Satyavan. This comes in Sri Mahabharatam, but she invokes that couple. Savitri Satyavantam cha Kapilam Srimati Yatha, like how Srimati is devoted to Kapila Maharishi. Saudasam Madayantiva Keshini Sagaram Yatha. Keshini Sagara belonged to the predecessors of her husband. So when we discussed Balakandam, we did discuss one of the predecessors, Purva Maharaja of Ikshvaku Kulam, called Sagara Chakravarti, whose 60,000 sons were turned into a heap of ashes by Kapila Maharshi, and thereby all these children were later to be saved by Bhagiratha Prayatnam. In that process, Keshini's brother, who is Garuda, comes and sees at that point in time. So, Keshini Sagaram Yatha Saudasam Madayantiva, like how Madayanti was to Saudasa. Naishadham Damayantiva. This is another important charitram because Nala Damayanti charitram forms an integral part of the narration in Sri Mahabharatam. But this charitram has been turned into a Mahakavyam called Naishadham or Naishadha charitram by Sri Harsha. Nipidayasya Kshitirakshina Tathadriyantena Budhasudhamapi Nalasitas Chatrita Kirti Mandalaha Sarashirasin Mahasa Mahojwalaha, says Sri Harsha. It's a beautiful kavyam called Naishadam. So Nala Damayanti charitram features in Mahabharatam. It also is a part of the Mahakavyam. So she invokes Naishadham Damayantiva Bhaini Patimanuvrata, Bhaini Patni. So she belongs to that dynasty. So Bhaini Patni Manuvrata like them. So she has listed Surya Suvarchala, Shachi and Shakra, Arundhati Vasishta, Rohini and Soma, Lopamudra and Agastya, Sukanya and Shavana, Savitri and Satyavanta, Kapila and Srimati, Saudasa and Madayanti, Keshini and Sagara, Naishadam, Damayanti were like Nishadharaja, that is Nala and Damayanti were 11 couples she invokes, 11 Dampatis. Tatha Aham Ikshvakuvaram, like them. Even I am a devoted Pativrata Nari, Ikshvakuvaram, Ramam Patimanuvrata, I am Rama Patni, Anuvrata, I always walk the path of dharma and I always ensure that my husband also walks the path of dharma. Why am I facing this? So, she invokes, see, it's always good in our lives, which our acharyas say, when we face problems, we should always look up to people who have suffered as much as us or even more than us. That will give us a boost, saying that person has undergone so many problems in his or her life. So, what is a big harm? Let me also undergo. I should take it on my stride. I should develop the motivation in me. I should be very positive about my life. This is how we should see. And whenever we get riches, prosperity in our life, our acharyas say, look up to people who are suffering. See, there are people who have not got so many riches, so feel very humble, try to help people. When you are suffering, look up to people who have suffered more. When you have riches, look at people who are poorer than you. So you will look up to them and then say, okay, with minimal comforts, they are managing such a pleasant life. Why can't I? So that's the way our acharyas say, but it's the other way around for us. When we are rich, we look up to people who are more richer than us and say that we should become as rich as them. When we have problems, we always look up to people who are happy and say, they are happy, I am sad. So this attitude should change, is what acharyas say. It's not that I follow any of it. It is very tough to follow, but as I say and as you listen, both of us as a journey together, probably we can become better individuals. Here, while she invokes such nice couples, I would like to quote verbatim some testimonials given by some very good writers and visionaries. Right Honorable V.S. Srinivasa Shastri in his lectures on the Ramayana says this about Seetā. He says, I quote, no woman that I have read of, certainly no woman that I have seen comes near Valmiki's conception of Seetā. She is unapproachable. She is a piece of nature, like which there was and can be none. Look at the words. Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda states, the height of a woman's ambition is to be like Seetā, the pure, the devoted, the all-suffering. West has solved the problem of how much a man can have. India has solved the problem of how little a man can have. Seetā is typical of India. Seetā is the name in India for everything that is good, pure and holy. Seetā was a true Indian by nature. This is Swami Vivekananda's words. I've just quoted verbatim. Why should I be quoting? Because Seetā, we have a plethora of characters. We have Tara, we have Ahalya, we have Mandodari, we have Draupadi, we have Rukmini, we have Satyabhama. We have some characters like Shurpanaka, Manthara, Kaikeyi, Kaushalya, Sumitra, many. But Seetā holds a very special position in our minds and especially in the minds of our acharyas. So Seetā, after Ravana having warned her, after giving a deadline, now Seetā now invokes the blessings of Pativrata Naris, and let's see whether there is some effect to her invoking those Pativrata Naris, whether she is going to see some good fortunes in the next episode. Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a two-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.theravana.org. deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.